Now a heartwarming story of a remarkable young man and his family, and how some heroes with hammers help save them.
We always wanted to have kids, and because of medical reasons, we were unable to, so we decided to adopt.
In 2002, the Riveras were blessed with Angelica, a bouncing baby girl.
We were actually looking maybe for just like one more, but you know, there's two boys, they're brothers, and we said, well, you know, yeah, we could, you know, check it out, and they brought them to the house, and two little boys, 2 and 3, and I'm like, wow.
But soon after, Margarita noticed something concerning about their oldest son, Lee.
My dad had Becker's, which is a lighter form of muscular dystrophy. And I was seeing a lot of the things that I saw in my dad growing up in Lee. 2 weeks after they moved in, he was diagnosed with Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, which is the most aggressive form of muscular dystrophy.
It's an illness that makes like your bones and lungs like weak, and it's kind of hard to do things.
I see him talking to other kids, and the other kids are seeing him in his wheelchair, and they're like, you know, why you're in a wheelchair? He'll tell them, you know, I can't walk anymore.
This is an illness that robs his life. It's in progression. What he could do last week, he can't do this week.
How was your day?
Along with the Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, he also has 4 emotional diagnoses, which are far harder to deal with than just the physical. He has mood disorder, oppositional defiance, intermittent explosive disorder, and ADHD.
As Lee's condition progressed, Margarita knew she needed help.
I was carrying him on my back 24 steps, from the top all the way down the stairway, all the way down to the front stairs every day. And he would go into one of his frenzies, and he'd be digging his fingers into my eyes while I'm trying to carry him down the stairs. It got to a point, it was a matter of safety. So I knew I needed help. So one day I spoke to one of my friends, and I said, you know what, I want to do a fundraiser. I need to do a fundraiser because I need to build a room for him. And we did 3 fundraisers, but we still needed some help.
Margarita called and asked if I would be able to help do the project here, and I said yes.
I have a bunch of cousins. They helped us out financially. The church we go to, St. Leonard's, Berwyn, Illinois. I'm talking about police department, fire department.
The mayor?
The mayor.
She just had this way about her that she just prayed that, hey, I need this, I need that, and people started coming in. We had a man that actually did all the drawings. We had people that took care of the concrete, the digging of the basement, the electricians. They all came in, so we had a whole crew, essentially, to start this project.
But even with all of the hard work and good intentions, there was still so much to do.
We didn't have siding, we didn't have roof, we didn't have insulation at that point.
With the house half finished, the Riveras needed a miracle.
And I sat in front of my computer, and God put on my heart, carpenters, carpenters, carpenters. And I typed in Carpenters Union, and God is my witness. The first phone number that showed up, that was the first number that I called.
She reached the office of Keith Judkins.
And I spoke to his secretary, and I told her my stories. She said, well, I'll let him know, and he'll give you a call in about an hour. And I sat back and I said, okay, God, I'm just Margarita here. I don't think nobody's gonna call me.
We follow up on every story. We follow up on any kind of need.
Hour later, I'm talking to this man with a strong voice.
She was a person in desperation, saying she was praying for a miracle.
He said, I'm gonna have somebody out there tomorrow, Wednesday. His name is Jose Maldonado.
When Keith Judkins called me, he's like, listen, there's this project that they need some help in your area. Go check it out, take some pictures, see what they need.
I said, oh yeah, oh Margarita, nobody's gonna call you.
At first I thought it was gonna be your simple, somebody needs a door change.
But I should have kept my faith.
Jose was there the next day, ready to help, but nothing could have prepared him for what he saw.
Half of the house was gone on the inside. There was no plaster, no plasters on the ceilings. There's an addition going on the outside. Walls were exposed. You could feel the draft coming in from the cold air. It was moving in the right direction, but very slowly.
He said, I'll have a couple of people here on Saturday. He said a couple. I said, oh, okay, a couple. Which I didn't mind, couple was good.
The first thing she told me, she's like, I can't pay these guys. I want to be able to reward them some way, shape, or form. But she's like, but I can cook.
But I cooked for only a couple. But Saturday came around and I had 12 carpenters outside with belts and hammers and saws.
And boy, can she cook. And we have a great team of people. Keith Judkin was involved, our regional council, our president Frank Libby, Gary Perinar. They were very involved on this project. And once we started getting all the locals together, we started brainstorming. Then we figured out what type of material they would need, whether it was flooring, drywall, insulation.
They started helping us financially, and they bought the insulation, they bought the drywall.
And not only did they donate all this stuff, and they came and did the work, but then they took it upon themselves to call the electricians union, to go ahead and call the painters union. You know, they didn't stop.
One pressing issue, give Lee easy access to the dining room and kitchen.
Is this too big?
No, that's good.
We had a wall between the dining room and the kitchen, and basically we were just gonna have it whitened.
Right across here was the wall. There was only a 32-inch opening here, and Lee couldn't even come through with his wheelchair. So we went and shored up the opening, put in beams, and created this whole space to make it one large room. He could go to the back door. We have a ramp going out the back so he could go out and play.
He said, because I ate it. And she asked, why did you eat it? Why did he eat it? Because it was a piece of cake.
He could go out the front, and now in the front, we have a lift system.
Before I had to go in the back, it's kind of hard because when I had to go on the school bus, I had to go down the ramp and walk all the way around. Now it's just easier.
Hold it in, okay? Don't let it come out.
Just as the work on the house progressed, so did Lee's condition.
That's one. He's choking a lot on his saliva, which means that his lungs are beginning to get weaker. He's starting to favor the right side of his chair, which means his spine has begun the curvature.
Well, before we had lunch, I ate like my chicken 4 different times. Like, 4 different times.
Eventually, it will attack his heart. Eventually, he will need spinal surgery, heart surgery, a feeding tube, a breathing tube, and 24-hour assistant.
What we saw was that he's going to need care when he might not be able to move at all. This is where his new room is. And so in here, you'll see that we have full beams all the way across. They're all structural beams.
The child needed some special lift systems and a room to accommodate his needs. Because Margarita, the only way of transporting the young man was on her back, up and down the stairs every day.
This moves back and forth, and of course then we have the buttons that would bring it, the saddle right back down, slips it right underneath, you connect it back up, and then you could just bring it right back up. They'll pull it all the way back.
Small bathroom, then it was kind of hard. When I had to wash my hands, like when I was in my chair, it's kind of hard to squeeze in there.
He has a huge bathroom where we can wheel him in. He can take a shower. There's something about dignity and being able to take a shower.
I'm so proud of him right now that he made it this far. And he's still having some hard times with his life problems, but you know, he keeps on going no matter what. Mom, what's that dance?
There, I did it.
And if they think that the only thing they did was hammer here, hammer there, they did much more than that.
They built more than just a room. It's not just a room. It wasn't just a bathroom. It just wasn't just a closet.
There aren't enough thank yous to go around.
We work hard for a living, we make a good wage, and to share some of our experience in helping people that are less fortunate is what we're about.
It's an amazing organization. I mean, for them to take on and take away from their family time to help this little boy, to help our son, that's truly amazing.